Okay. I know Nastasia knows how to do this stuff, so. You have any other questions? We were at this stage here where I was coloring in the eyes and I was about to do the lips.
Somebody needs to mute the background.
Oh, Deborah. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay. Let's bring it back down here. All righty. That's funny. Okay. I just made a mistake. I sewed around the head, and it's probably okay because I want to improve this head a little bit. But as you see, can anybody tell me what I did wrong on this? I started coloring in the eyes.
Forgot to turn it inside out. Right side out.
Exactly. Exactly. I left out a step. When you sew the head around and you do your snipping. Did I do the snipping too? No, I didn't do the snipping. I'm rushing. Okay. So this is the bobbin side, so you can see a little bit better as to where I stitched and how much space I left on the side. I don't know if you can see that. Up higher? Okay. Give you a better view.
There you go.
So I'm going to just snip it, and I'm not going all the way to the line, but just, and if you have what they call pinking shears, you can, when you go to cut it out, just cut it out with your pinking shears, and then you don't have to do this snipping.
Move it closer to you. Closer to you, yeah.
Okay. And I'm snipping a little bit more, a little bit more. Hold on a second, guys.
So the other day I did this pinking shears because I haven't used it in a long time and I cut it too close. So you got to be real careful with the pinking shears, going around the curves especially.
Right.
Just a thought.
You would be doing it when you're on the straight of it, you don't have to do the snipping on the straight lines. So like this part of the face, oh, I'm sorry. So this part of the face, you don't have to snip that. This part, don't snip it, just around the curved edges. And that's the same thing with your doll. And basically only at the bottom, like this area here, you want to take one little snip in there, one little snip in there. You can do the shoulders a little bit. Well, one side you can do because one side is open so that you can do your stitching. When you get to about here, you might want to put a little snip there and a little snip on that side, and then on the bottom of the body. Okay, so we've had an adventurous day. What time is it? It's 3:32. So here's what I'm going to do. We have a body that looks like this. This is what we call the hanging body or the goddess body. And we have a pattern piece. Now, if you just want to do the one doll, that's fine. If you think you want to do a doll that stands up, then you should, for practice, do the second body. Oh, okay, so that's on this pattern, on your freezer paper. So you do this one. Let me hold it up a little bit further, and then you can see. All right, so you can do the second one and trace that on your freezer paper. You're going to leave the bottom open when you sew, and you could sew across the top because the bottom is open. And you can put that on the second piece of fabric. You're going to leave, you don't have to leave the sides open because it's open on the bottom, and we can work with that way. And you can see the neck is almost as long as my finger. So yep, the neck is at least 2 inches long. So for homework tonight, if you decide you want to do the body, the second doll, then you should find the fabric you want to use, Trace this on your freezer paper, cut it out, put it on your fabric, whichever fabric you decide you want to use. Whatever fabric you want to use, that's part of that kit. I should bring that doll over. So, and then there's another sheet in your paper, and it has arms. So we're not going to do the hands. You can do where we have arms right now. Well, actually, we have some that can do hands. So trace out your hands, the arms, and you can trace out your hands also. And put that on your freezer paper. And when I do the arms on this particular doll, I use the color fabric. So you can use it the same color as your doll, or you can do it a contrasting color, or you can use skin fabric. But on this particular doll, I wanted to make it so that, so I do have some dolls here I want to show you. Let me turn this head while I'm talking. Because tomorrow we're going to do some costuming on the doll. So right now you see the body of the doll. This is like a plain body, but this one has a little skirt which has contrasting colors. You might want to pick that out because there's a pattern piece for that, which is not showing up here at the moment. Okay. The circle that's in your pattern description. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you got the arms you're going to put on freezer paper and decide. This is a circle kind of thing. It's kind of an oblong egg shape, but that kind of made the skirt there. And you can pick out fabric for that, and we can either make that a true circle or you can make it something oblong so that it kind of sticks out. But you'll pick out fabric for the top part and fabric for the bottom part. I'll turn it around and you can see that this has one side and then the other side. There are some pieces where I made like a little ascot on it, and we did some beading, and those are some of the things that we will do tomorrow when we add the arms. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask?
I have one.
Okay.
Can you show the doll that what we're making, the finished doll? You know, the hanging one embellished.
It's not completely embellished. Where is she? Okay. All right. So this one, it depends on what kind of hair you want to do. I will show you how to make hair for the doll. We'll have a couple of choices. This is kind of the yarn.
So she doesn't get any arms.
Yes, you can put arms on this, but the arms that I used on this one are the arms. You can use either one of the arms. So if you decide on this particular doll that you want to have arms that curve or either hang straight out, you can do that. Or we're going to do the kind where we take a long tube and make her look like she's holding her hands together. This is like a tube that comes down.
Okay.
And that tube would be approximately 2.5 inches wide. And I believe it was 16 inches long. So you can sew that strip, that long strip that's on the pattern piece also. Let me find that. On the pattern that I sent out yesterday.
Is it on this one?
Is it? It's not on that one. I don't see it here. Well, it's a 2.5 inch long tube, and you would just sew a straight line. Take this out. So if you're using the same color, you could do one of two things. No, take a piece that's 14 to 16 inches long.
Is this it?
This is not 2.5 inches, but this would be like a two. Okay, so this would be approximately 2.5 inches. All right, and you'll make a strip this wide, 2.5 inches wide, and 16 inches long. You'll fold it in half and sew it right down. Sew it right down the side. Okay, leave both ends open, and then you'll have that for tomorrow, and I'll show you how to attach this strip to make arms for your doll.
I found the pattern. Here it is. It's on the piece with the nose.
Okay, very good. Okay, yes, it's sitting here looking at me now. Okay, right. So now the piece that's on this pattern is if you had folded your strip, your fabric in half, and then you would put this on the fold and cut it that way. So if your fabric's folded in half and you have a shorter piece and you need to make it the length, you can put it on a full piece of fabric that's approximately 8 inches long. If it's folded, you'll still get the 16 inches, okay? And if you sew your tube longer, we can always trim it off tomorrow and end up using it for part of the embellishments that we do in decorating the doll. Any other questions? We won't do the head until tomorrow since we kind of got a little off track here, but you will turn it inside out. Press the head flat again, and then take your stencil piece. You kind of got lost in the shuffle here. Take your stencil piece that's from the freezer paper, iron that back on, and with your brown pencil, just draw where the stencil line's in. Or if you are an artist and draw nice faces, then you can start drawing your face on here. Okay? Knowing that this part, this is basically about 1/4 inch from the top will be the head, will be where you'll stop the head. So if you're doing it where you're finding the center of the face and fold that back about 1/4 inch so you know where you're working as far as you're putting in your eyes and nose and mouth kind of thing. And we'll go from there. So we have about 18 minutes. Anybody else have any questions, or do you want to go a little bit further?
No, I have some catching up to do. So I got my body.
Oh, okay. So, and if you do have more time, all right, the stuffing, if you want, we can, like I said, I put the stick in. And if, like I said, if you have a chopstick and it goes pretty much down to your bottom, don't worry about it so much because it'll stay in there when we stuff it. And you'll take little pieces, and when you first get started, you probably will have to put it in with your hands, and then you take your chopstick, and those who have stuffing tools will use that or their hemostats, and you'll put it in. I start from the side where I put it, and I push it down all the way down to the bottom. And in most cases, I put it all the way down to the bottom, and then I put some up in the top. Put a little smaller pieces when you're doing the top part. And that will go up to into the neck. Now, you have a stick that's in there, and while you're stuffing it, you want to try and keep your stick in the middle of your doll so that, and keep it close up to the top of the neck so that when you sew the head on, it'll have support. All right. So that would be the other thing that you would do as homework this evening or part of tomorrow's class, is to stuff your doll. If you don't have stuffing, we do have suggestions on where you can find that. And just kind of push it down and it'll spring back up, but you just keep pushing it. Kind of hold your hand where you're stuffing it. And so you could take something like this, and some people do it where they put little pieces, or you can kind of make it like a long piece and kind of stuff that in here with your fingers starting. I'm going to use the tools that I have and push that in. It doesn't always want to go in like you want it to, so you can twist it around a little bit. And when you do that, you want to put it in your hand so you can feel it where it's trying to twist, and you can have a point on it. And put it in that hole. And if necessary, you'll stick your fingers in and push it in. You want to put some on one side of the stick and then on the other. You have this. I'll use this and my stick. I'm going to push it back in the middle. So when I go back in the next time, I'm actually going to go on the opposite side of the stick. I can feel that this side of the stick is more on this side of the doll. So then my next piece will go in on the other side. I'm going to pull that out. Because that stick will slide around in there. Just using my fingers right now. And putting it around the other side of the stick. Taking my blunt end of my chopstick and pushing it in. And as you see, the bottom of the body is forming. And this time we'll put it on the other side of the stick. Down. Stick it in. Spread it out. And you'll fiddle with it because now the sticks move to the other side. Let's take that off. Okay. Okay, so we have an idea with that, and we're getting closer to our time. Anybody have any questions?
How will we get to look at the video or not?
I'm gonna have to ask Deborah on that one, because I'm not sure if she recorded it to the library system or she recorded it to the cloud, but it takes a little bit of time for it to download, and then it will send out a notice that says when it's ready. So it won't be able to view probably before tomorrow, but if we find out before then I will send it to you this evening.
Okay.
All right. I'm not sure if Deborah heard that, but I will check with her later on to find out how soon we can be able to put it up for viewing. Okay.
Gwen, should we
Thank you.
or do we wait until tomorrow?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Should we put the head on tonight or do we wait until tomorrow?
Well, my suggestion is that you color your face and don't put it on because you have to put your nose on. And I'll show you how to do that. For those who are experienced, I sewed my nose. I'm going to cut it around the side, and then I'm going to take one side and you're going to loosen it up. We're going to snip the back in a little
Right,
bit so that you can be able to put your stuffing in.
right, and then sew it onto the face.
And well, you have to draw your face first,
Right,
and then you can sew it on, and then you would stuff it
okay,
after all right.
all right.
Well, some people, you can stuff your face so that you can have an idea. Yes, once you've colored your face and stuffed it, don't close
Okay.
the top of it. Just do your nose
Mhm.
and then position it in place, and you'll do like a ladder stitch around the nose,
Okay,
add it to the face. And I'll do that one this way.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to leave my young lady faceless this time. So I would do everything other than draw the detail of the face. You just cut out the shape.
You can do that. Now, do you have a picture of someone or yourself that you can copy onto a piece of fabric?
Well, I suppose.
There are people who leave their doll faces without actually having a face on it.
Mhm.
But if I have done it where I've taken a photo, enlarged it so that it gets about the shape of the face, and then sewed that on top of the face so that you have a face. Okay, that's another possibility to work with.
So you printed it on fabric and then sewed it on? Is that what you mean?
Yes, you print it on fabric. You know, you can use. Okay, so you would take like freezer paper about the size of, once you get the picture, the face about the size that you want it on your printer. Okay, so let's say you pick a face and you keep enlarging it until you get it about the size of this. It doesn't have to be the complete shape of that, the person's face. And then you take your freezer paper and you take freezer paper and make it the size of this, and then take your fabric and iron it onto your freezer paper. And I would probably do a lighter color, like maybe like a muslin or, ouch, a lighter color. And then this way you can shade it in, but you know, you use your printer, the color portion of your printer, to print that face on the fabric, and put it through your machine, put it through your printer. Does that sound too complicated? But anyway, some people do faces that, I kind of like faces on a doll, but let's say we got this piece here. All right, so we got this piece here. I'm gonna do it on a piece of paper as opposed to the fabric. Okay, all of those have something on the back of it. I didn't bring any extra paper down here. Okay, so let's use this paper. Like I said, if you have a light box, sometimes you can just draw it in through that way. But a simple face, this particular face is kind of a U shape. So here's a way to make a face. You've got the center line here, and you got a center line there. So when I teach young people to draw a face, I say draw a dash on the center line, another dash about the same size as the space in between. So I need it bigger. Let's try that again.
Gwen, if you were a Sharpie, it would be better because I can't really see what you're doing.
Okay, let me use a marker.
Yeah, or either a dark pencil
Yeah. 1 second.
or a pencil, I guess, you know.
That's a pencil,
dark.
but let's see if,
Can I see you a little bit bigger what you doing because I saw very little.
say that again, Blanca.
Can I see more bigger like a zoom?
Okay,
or
let's see if I may not be on Spotlight. Let's see.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You just need,
So go to your 3 dots and
Yeah.
pin the video. Is that better for you?
The 3 dots and what I do?
And go to my picture and then hit pin video. Nope, we gotta go this way. I'm trying to see if I can do this upside down. Okay, so I drew a U shape.
No, oh my gosh. No.
Nope. Okay, how's that?
that's
That's
better.
better?
Yes.
Okay, so I drew a U shape. I'm gonna just kind of circle in there. And you decide where the middle is. And there. And then I would put them, figure out where and then you put like a dot about where you want the distance between, same distance between this middle line. And then you just draw a straight line. And then you try and draw the same size straight line on the other side. And then where this dot is, you make a half moon. And you make another half moon. And you'll practice this on paper first. I think you can see that better. And then you put a parenthesis there, parenthesis there, parenthesis there, and a parenthesis there. And then halfway between the bottom of the eye and the bottom of the chin, you draw like a dash. And then you put a comma on each end. Okay? And then halfway between that and the bottom, you draw a little snake like that. Well, that's not the best one, but let me try that again. Can you still see me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that gives you the kind of the top of the mouth. And then you do a half moon and you go down like that. And you have a face. Now go back to the eye, and in the middle of that parenthesis, you just put a dot. And when you go to do the eyebrows, you go to the little bit past the edge of the eye, and you do a check mark. And you can do a check mark on that side. And then you just kind of play with it to make it smoother or happier. And I'm doing this with a pen, but then I go back up to the eye and I come down around the side of the nose. And then you make there's a little thing called like an upside down asterisk. And you just put that in there and you got some nose. And when you want, you come over and the top of the eyebrow. So like a punctuation face. A dash, dash, half moon, parenthesis, parenthesis, comma, comma, the top of a heart. That's not so good of a heart. The top of a heart, or a wiggly, snaky line, kind of a wiggly line for the top of the mouth, and then a half moon that goes underneath it. And then you can put a dot over there for the nose, another dot there, and then you just color in the different parts. You color in the white of the eye, color in the pencil for the eye, or some people will do a face. I go this way, do a face, and they'll do a straight line, and they'll do an upside down question mark, do kind of a peak mouth, and don't put in the top part of the eye. Then it looks like the eyes are closed. Kind of like this doll's eyes. I don't know if you can see her eyes. Kind of like this doll's eyes. Looks like they're kind of closed, but they still have the eye shape. So don't give up on the face just yet, but we'll just go along and see how that works. And we have something in the chat. I think we had 3 things that people may. Did we put the head on tonight? I'll wait till tomorrow. Did I answer your question, Nathasia? I think she may be gone. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes, you did. You answered it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh my pants leg up. All right. I think that's basically, we're pretty close to the time period. In fact, it's exactly 4 o'clock. So I will get back in touch with Deborah to find out how soon the recording will be available, and we'll go from there. Okay? And thank you, ladies, for sticking with me today, and hopefully we'll be able to sign in and get started a little bit
Thank
easier
you.
tomorrow. All right?
Thank you,
And I'll try and
everyone.
find out what happened to the other 6 people.
Right.
All right, take
All
care.
right. See you tomorrow.
Very good. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.